We all have that one plant that just won't give us a break. For me, it's my Hoya Compacta that has the worst mealybugs infestation. I tried pretty much everything except from harsh chemicals. I tried cleaning it with alcohol, I tried spraying it with my DIY solution, and it seems nothing really helps, they just keep coming back. So today I'm giving her a proper spa day, a deep clean and a neem oil bath in hopes for a new start. So let's start our rescue mission. Hi plant lovers, welcome back to my green leafy space. If you're new here, my name is Alina. Thank you so much for being here. So the situation with my Hoya Compacta is really not the best. It has been struggling with mealybugs for a few months now. I'm not sure I have given it like my all to try and rescue it, unfortunately. But I did try pretty much everything I can. I don't really like using any systemic harsh chemicals, but I did try to clean it many times with alcohol, and I tried spraying it with my DIY solution, and nothing really helps. It looks like it's much better, but after a week or two it just seems they're coming back and their numbers is multiplying pretty quickly. I've had this Hoya for many years, I think at least 7 years. I got it as a much smaller plant and I really enjoyed growing it. It's so low maintenance. It looks so beautiful hanging. It used to bloom for me pretty much every summer for like the last, I don't know, 4 years at least. So it always makes me really sad to kind of, see a plant that I have been growing for years. I have kept it like healthy and alive for years. So it really makes me sad seeing it in this condition, but I really hope I can save it. Maybe not the whole plant, but I am planning on saving at least a few good cuttings. So my plan for today is pretty simple. I decided I'm not gonna try and continue fighting the mealybugs while the plant is in soil. I'm just gonna take a few good cuttings and the rest I'm just gonna get rid of. So I'm gonna take a few cuttings. I'm gonna clean everything I can with some alcohol. After cleaning it with alcohol, I'm gonna give it a really good shower, and after the shower I'm gonna give it a neem oil bath. While I treat her, I'm gonna talk a little about how to identify mealybugs, how to deal with them, and I'm gonna talk a little about how I usually make my DIY solution. So let's go to the balcony, hang there. It's a beautiful day, and I don't know, wish me luck with this beautiful plant. Well, it used to be beautiful, it's not really beautiful anymore. Okay guys, so this is her, my poor Hoya, and you can see she's not in the best condition. She still has those beautiful long vines, but there are many leaves that really don't look their best. Pretty much all over the vine, also here. So as you can see, I cut most of the leaves on the top of the plant because at some point most of the infestation was there on the top of the plant, and it didn't really help. I cut most of the leaves and it didn't really help, as you can see. So there's a lot of them pretty much everywhere. You can spot them even from far with their sticky layer. So what I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna take a few cuttings. Those are the materials I'm gonna need. I'm gonna need some scissors, I'm gonna need an alcohol and some cotton swabs. So I'm gonna take a few cuttings and I'm gonna clean it as much as I can, and then I'm gonna move on to showering it. By the way, guys, if you have been here for a while, you know that my neighbor from the upstairs has been in his renovation journey for, I don't know, more than 6 months. So every time I try to, yeah, there's noise right now. So every time I try to like film outside, he starts doing something. So if you hear any noise, I'm really sorry about that. And that's what it is. So I think that the easiest thing to do here is just take the cuttings, like before I clean it with alcohol, decide what I want to keep and what I want to throw away. Just I believe will take much less time. I don't really want to clean the parts that I'm not keeping. So first of all, I'm going to take the cuttings. It's pretty bad. I'm not sure what should I even keep and throw away. I don't know. Let's start doing this, and I will talk a little about how to identify mealybugs. Some of the vines are pretty long, and I'm not sure if I should like cut them in the middle or something. Guess we'll see. So how can you identify mealybugs on your plant? So first of all, if that's a plant that you had for some time, I think you're just gonna know that something is going on, something is not right. But if it's a new plant and you're not sure, I think the easiest way to identify them is just to see them, or that sticky layer they have. The plant will feel kind of sticky, the leaves. You're just gonna see those white annoying dots, and if you see any mealybugs on your plants, then please try and treat it as fast as you can. So you're not really gonna see them move. They're not like thrips that you see their movement. They're pretty slow. If you're not gonna treat it immediately, it's gonna get much worse pretty quickly. So if you're not sure if it's a mealybug, you can always kind of spray it with alcohol, and you're gonna see the color change from white to kind of grayish. So I'm trying to get rid of all the leaves that just don't look their best, and in hopes the cuttings will look pretty healthy. So as you can see, there's so much damage. It might be from the alcohol as well, or my DIY solution, I'm not sure, but there is okay, the leaves are just falling off since the mealybugs are on the base of the leaves. So you can find mealybugs pretty much everywhere. They can be on the stem, they can be on the leaves, and they can be under the leaves, pretty much everywhere. If your plant is in blooms, it can even be on the flowers, which is really annoying, especially on the Hoya Compacta that has these like curled leaves. It's the biggest challenge to find them all and clean the plant. In general, unfortunately, mealybugs love Hoyas. This is not the first plant, my first Hoya, that got mealybugs, and to tell you the truth, it was kind of my biggest fear that my Hoya Compacta will get mealybugs, but it's here and we're dealing with it. So this is the first cutting. So I think the biggest mistake I did that led to this whole situation is I brought a plant home from my nursery, and I did check it in the nursery and I didn't see any bugs there. And I decided to not like isolate it for some time and watch it for a few days, and I decided to put it, you guessed right, next to my Hoya Compacta. And that was my biggest mistake. After a few days I noticed it has mealybugs. I moved it, but it was too late for my Hoya Compacta, and now I'm dealing with the results. So please don't make the same mistake. Learned from my mistakes. From after that happened, I always, if I bring a new plant home, I always keep it like on a balcony in a isolation for like a week. I watch it every day. I check it. A great idea is also to treat it when you bring a new plant home. Just treat it with whatever you treat your plants. So I kind of want to leave the vines pretty long. I kind of imagined it in a kind of big vase with long vines after I move it to water. So I think I'm gonna keep them pretty long. Hopefully they're not gonna tip over and fall. So this is the last one. Let's see what we'll do with this one. I really hope it will root, because if you take a not the healthiest cutting, it's not always gonna root. Okay, so now I'm gonna spray. I'm gonna spray directly the plant. I know it's recommended to spray it on the cotton swab, but if I'm gonna spray the cotton swab and clean every like leaf, it's gonna take forever. So I don't think I'm gonna do it. It might hurt a few leaves if you spray directly, but you know what? At this point, I don't really mind losing a few more leaves. But I will clean everything, like all the mealybugs I do see, I will clean them with some swabs. If you're not gonna spray the plant with some alcohol, that sticky layer is pretty much like water resistant. So even if you're gonna really like shower it, it's not really gonna help, because the mealybugs are gonna just stay on the plant. So you really need to clean like any mealybugs you see, and then try and wash them off, because without the alcohol, the substance is gonna just protect them. So I'm kind of just gonna spray these, all the stem and the leaves. I took care of all the mealies I saw. Okay. It got much worse than it was like a week ago. If it was a newer plant in my collection, I don't think I would go all this way to save it, but since it's a pretty old plant and I love it so much, I decided to try and fight them. They're always going to be in the most annoying spots, especially on a plant like this curly girl. So I'm not sure that every plant will be okay with being sprayed with like directly with alcohol. If it's a plant you just notice the infestation, I would like spray a leaf or two to see if it doesn't like really damage your plant. But I am gonna go shower it in a few minutes, so it's not gonna stay on it. Okay, it's ready to go to the shower. Okay guys, moving on to the spa part of this rescue mission. So I'm gonna start with a vessel with some warm water, It's really crucial because this is what's going to activate the soap you're going to use, and that's what's going to destroy the sticky layer that protects the mealybugs. So I'm going to use neem oil. I buy my neem oil in iHerb. I really like shopping on their site, and I think they have a lot of options, not especially neem oil, but a lot of like different stuff like essential oils in pretty friendly prices. So that's where I get mine. So I'm gonna be pretty generous with the neem oil, since this vessel is much bigger than the spray bottle I usually use. So the neem oil doesn't only kill mealybugs, but it also messes with their growth and their reproductive system. So you can definitely, if you're gonna do a few treatments, it's not gonna be unfortunately one-time treatment. If you're gonna be consistent, at some point it's supposed to stop the cycle of mealybugs, of their growth. I'm also going to use a peppermint essential oil. You don't have to add it, but I think that the smell does repel some bugs, and I really prefer this smell than the neem oil. I'm not going to use a lot. On my spray bottle, I add about 5 drops. Here I'm going to add, I believe, like 10, but don't add too much, since the smell is so strong and you're just going to suffer through the whole process. So this is the soap I'm using. This is a like ecological one. We use it in our kitchen. I wouldn't recommend using like a harsh industrial soap. But again, if you have never used this solution on a certain plant, I would definitely recommend just making a spray bottle, the same DIY solution but in a spray bottle, and spray a small section of the plant and just give it a few days to see that it doesn't damage the leaves. Or you can take like a small cutting and do this cute little spa bath, and wait a few days to see that the plant survives and it doesn't do any damage to it. So I'm gonna add a generous amount of the soap. Now I'm gonna put the cuttings inside. I'm gonna keep them for like 5 to 10 minutes. Again, from my experience, it might damage a few leaves, but at this point I don't really mind, since I'm kind of trying to save this plant. So I did do this bath to this plant while it was in soil. It was much harder to do when it was in soil, and it did damage a few leaves, but as you can understand, it's not a big deal at this point. If you can do it outside this bath, I really recommend doing it outside, because it does have a pretty strong smell from the neem oil and the peppermint. I will add the links to the neem oil and the peppermint essential oil if you're interested. So at this condition, like in a really bad infestation, I would treat the plant at least once a week. Even twice a week is a really good idea if you want to get rid of them as fast as possible. So I think I'm gonna do this bath. I'm gonna try twice a week to do exactly what I'm doing now, and I will definitely keep you posted. I really hope it will be a success story. Okay, so I soaked them for about 10 minutes. Now I'm gonna dry them a little with a paper towel, and we're gonna move on to the fun part of choosing a vessel to put them in. Okay guys, let's choose a few propagation vessels. I have a few good options. This space is messy already. I just cleaned it and made a new setup here a few months ago, but it already is pretty messy. Let's see, I have this option, this one, I have this one, I need to clean this. So no, I think this one will be too small, and I have the bigger that I think that will be perfect. This one needs a little cleaning too. I think I'm gonna use one of these two. Okay guys, so I think I'm gonna use the bigger vase. I think it's gonna hold the cuttings much better than this one, and I think it's gonna look nicer. I really like this one, so let's see if I can fit all of them there. I'm gonna start from the bigger cuttings. Okay, they're in, and I think it looks really nice. I love this look. Okay, I'm gonna add some water. I did add a few drops of liquid fertilizer in hopes it will help it root. Now I need to find a spot for it, kind of isolated. It still needs to get quite a lot of light, since Hoyas love bright indirect light, maybe some morning gentle sunlight. I don't have really isolated spots in bright indirect light because most of them are filled with plants, but we'll think of something. Okay guys, so this is the end result. You know what, I really love how it looks. This is exactly how I imagined it. It looks much better than it used to look in soil, that's for sure, after I got rid of all the bad looking leaves. So for now it looks pretty clean. I'm not sure if it's gonna stay that way. As I said, I'm gonna treat it, I'll try to treat it twice a week to do this neem oil bath, and I don't know, wish me luck. So let's find a spot for it. I think I'm gonna keep it over here on the balcony in kind of an isolation. I'm gonna put it here. It's gonna get some direct morning gentle sunlight. I think it's gonna keep it happy, and I don't know, we'll see how it goes. Okay guys, so we're back inside since it's really noisy on the balcony. So I forgot to mention a really important part of the DIY solution. When you're treating your plants, please don't do it in direct sunlight because it might burn the leaves. So after you treat it, give it like a few hours to dry out, and then you can put it in a sunny spot, of course not like the harsh afternoon sun. So I really hope we did something good today and that this plant will be happier from now. I will definitely keep you posted. If you have been treating your plants for pests, definitely let me know. It kind of just makes me feel less alone in this planty struggle. And if you have any good tips on how to get rid of mealybugs, I'd love for you to share them with me. This is a space where we learn from each other, and I did learn a lot from your previous comments, so definitely let me know if you have any good tips. If you're into watching another video, I recently posted a really fun jungle walkthrough, an October edition. I think you're really gonna enjoy that one, so check it out. If you're into daily plant inspiration, follow me on my Instagram. I'll leave the link in the description of this video. If you're struggling with pests yourself, I really hope this video helped you, as well as I hope that it helped my Hoya. And you know, as always, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it, and I really hope to see you in my next one.